Toby, please, can you start the class? This is 9 minutes after 4. We are live already.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. It's nice to have you on. Welcome to the 3MCT Deep Tech Ready Masterclass, where we are going to be talking about how to boost your productivity and by learning how to start automating tasks and building your first workflow. It's nice to see every one of you, and kindly drop your name and where you're joining from in the chat. Kindly drop your name and where you're joining from. Good evening. Good evening. So if you can hear me, just drop your name and where you're joining from. You can possibly drop your specialization as well. Okay. So looking forward to your responses. Okay, great. All right. Believe from Cross River, Abiodun from Abeokuta. Okay, so here today, I mean, as you know, the 3MCT Deep Tech Ready Masterclass, and I'd like to introduce the speaker for today in the person of Uche Edwin, that is a product lead at Data Science Nigeria. So kindly drop your name. If you're just joining, kindly drop your name and where you're joining from. Okay, so just a brief introduction of our tutor for today, the person of Uche Edwin. Uche Edwin is a seasoned product leader with nearly a decade of experience driving digital products and initiatives that deliver impact at scale. He's currently head of products at Equalize AI, where he leads product strategy and works closely with cross-functional teams to design platforms built to serve users. His expertise in thinking, UX research, AI automation, and product leadership. Models and last mile AI products that are enabled on AI localization at global conferences, including ICT4D, Deep Learning in Daba, and IEA.com. And he has delivered guest lectures on AI in Africa at Columbia University School of International and Public Affairs, as well as the Pan-Atlantic University, contributed to shaping the narrative of generative AI's potential for Africa's 1.4 billion people. Obviously, we can see that Uche is well versed in this. That is to get this. In case you're just joining from, if you're excited, you can just drop an emoji in the chat room so we know that following along as well. Uche, if you can hear me, kindly confirm you're ready for us. Hi, Uche. Hi, Uche. If you can hear and you're just joining, drop your name and where you're joining from so that we can confirm that you can hear me. Okay, Anthony Blessing, advanced data analysis and visualization from Enugu. In just a few minutes, while our facilitator comes up, just drop your name and where you're joining from. Okay, and again, I like that you confirm that you can see the screen right now and the voice is better. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Sharifa Ismail. Uche, kindly confirm you can hear me. Obateru from Odo State, Kolawole Elisha from Kwara State. Welcome today. So in about 5 minutes, while we wait for others to join, would be starting. So by 6, that's 4:20, we'll be starting. I mean, you can write your specialization. I mean, so we would get a brief of the kind of persons that are joining and where the interest is coming up from. David Ezekiel, software engineer from Calabar. Good afternoon.
Hi, Toby, please confirm you can hear me. Hello, Toby, can you hear me?
All right, great. I can just as
My
I drop a chat
network,
for you.
apologies,
Okay.
is extremely poor.
Yeah,
I'm
I think you're allowed. I think you're loud and clear now.
okay.
So I was to share your slides, but I mean just grant me access or maybe share the link to the general stuff so that we can be able to kick off.
Yeah, I think you have access, so can you request access? Have you requested access?
Okay, let me just do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I just did that.
Okay, so just a minute. All right. So let me just do that. Oh, I don't, so you can share now.
All right, great. I think it works perfectly now. Uh, so if you are just joining, drop your name and where you're joining from. Uh, I can see Graph from Cross River, data science and machine learning track.
So is the slide coming up, Toby?
Yes, sure.
So while the slide is coming up, although I cannot see the participants on the call, but I'm aware that this call is being live streamed. So I would like to say uh, thank you very much for joining, and my sincere apologies for the technical issues that we've been having, and which has delayed the commencement of this class. So I'll try to run through my slide very quickly, and I hope that I can provide a foundational introduction to AI automation, what exactly it's all about, and um, then do a minor demo permitting. My internet is permitting me with one of the tools is available to us at our disposal. So, thank you, Toby. So, Toby has done just quick introduction to me, so I wouldn't want to has introduced me rather. So I wouldn't want to kind of like go over that again. I wish I could also see some names. So Toby, if it's possible, right, or some comments or questions, if it's possible, you can or maybe post from them from I think we're streaming on YouTube on this chat because I cannot see anything here, but I know that uh, our participants are commenting. All right, so today we're just going to walk through
All right,
AI
okay, that's great.
automation.
If you have a second device, I'd drop the link to the YouTube for you in case you want to see the
Okay,
chat.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. So let's just walk through this very quickly. AI automation. Now you must have been hearing about it a whole lot. So what is it all about? So the next slide. So what I will do in the next 30 to 40 minutes is to just provide you with that fundamental introduction to AI automation and then show you how it's impacting jobs and businesses around the world. And because we as a nation are not like excluded from the world, there is a guarantee that it will also impact us, it will trickle down its effect. And now is the time for you to kind of like begin to, whatever you're doing, if it's data science, machine learning, AI developer, data analysis, marketer, UI, UX designer, software engineer, whatever you're doing, you begin to see what exactly are the things that you can automate just to help you save time and deploy that same time to much more valuable and creative tasks instead of focusing on the routine ones. And then we'll just provide like a quick comparison between automation and agents. You might have been hearing those words, and they're like the buzzwords of today. So there is the possibility or probability to think they are exactly the same or they're synonyms, right? While they have extreme similarities, each of them are unique, right? And I will just show you in a very quick way from the slide what exactly is automation and how it's related to AI agents. And then we'll just walk through some automation tools that are available for you that you can start using to get your hands dirty, whatever it is you're doing. I understand again that there is a diverse skill sets that our participants on this call possesses, but you can see something simple. Like I would have loved to do a lot in terms of maybe doing an N8N automation, but my internet has been extremely erratic, and I hope it helps me. I hope I can do a very good practical for you. And we'll take some questions and we'll take it from, see how it goes from there. All right. So next slide very quickly. So what exactly is automation? Just to set the ball rolling. It's essentially there are tools that are available for you to automate or to provide that workflow in such a way that you are automating or you are making routine and repetitive tasks performed by set tools or your platforms, right? So essentially they call them machines, but it's a software, right? You're making use of available platforms to perform tools or perform tasks rather that you would have ordinarily performed in the past. So with minimal human efforts or human involvement, and all it does at that moment is that it frees up valuable time for you and resources so that you can focus on more creative work. Think of them a lot of tasks to be automated, and I'm just going to be showing you a couple of things that are, that are currently being automated. And then you will see the value of it as we progress. Next slide very quickly. So this is at the very fundamental, not to take too much time, what exactly automation is. And we begin to see its impact across jobs. the most telling impacts that we are seeing is that as automation is coming in, while it is freeing you up to do a lot more valuable tasks, what is happening is that it's not just freeing you, the one who performed it or who set it up, freeing you up or freeing up your time. It is also taking time from every other person who might have been doing that. So in situations whereby you will have needed 5 persons or 10 persons, as the case may be, to perform more a given task, now with an automated platform, you can get just 2 persons to do it, or even just 1 person who is essentially providing that oversight, ensuring that the triggers and the functions that you have set up performs or works the way you want. And that leads, as you can see on the screen, to a lot of persons not being essentially needed again. That's the word I want to use, right? In such a way that they are now being relieved of their jobs. Just last month, if I can remember vividly, Salesforce laid off about 4,000 employees. Oracle also done the same thing. And if you're following the trend, you will have seen Meta, Google, Microsoft, and every single one of them laying off huge number of staffs, right? This is the reality. But what is also happening, which we always want to provide that balance, so that the whole narrative around AI will take a jobs, which we know that automation is bringing to reality, is not one-sided. It is actually clear to everyone who needs to see that it's not just AI taking your jobs. There will also be jobs created because of AI. And that's where you see that 170 million jobs that are expected to be created. So it is just to provide that balance that automation will definitely lead to that reduction in the need of some skills. But what will happen in the nearest future, right, is that new skills will be required, and each and every one of us will be expected to reskill. That's why you can see there about 78 million net jobs. So great that you are joining this session and you are keen to see what exactly are the skills that you want to learn. And I mean, big shout out to the team from the Federal Ministry of Innovation, Digital Economy and Communications for this initiative, the 3 million tech talents, providing deep tech ready skills to young Nigerians, right, to ensure that we set you up and position you for the future of work. And so you also joining this session is, what are the things that I need to learn? AI, the buzzword is everywhere. But what exactly are the things that I need to know, or the things also that I need to learn? So great that you're joining this session and you're seeing the reality that while AI will take some jobs, we would also see improvement. We'll also see new jobs being created. And for businesses, this is what we are seeing as the impact, whereby already IT and operations across multiple organizations globally are already automating some tasks. 90% of IT staff that were interviewed in a particular survey, right, were already automating their tasks to improve their cross-team collaboration and efficiency. Marketing is another key area that we are seeing automation being implemented, from leads generation to customer support to social media leads qualification, all of that, right, to closing some leads. Every one of them, we are seeing elements of automation being introduced into that entire pipeline, such that the usual time that you will have taken if you have taken 1 person or 10 persons to follow up with 100 leads that come from maybe your marketing campaign, just by setting up automated tools, right? Every of those 100 persons can immediately be followed up by some AI automated agents, right? And once that is done, that the entire closure can be reduced, the time to close them, between what will have taken a human, say 1 hour or 2 hours, in minutes, right? A mail from an automated agent that has already been set up, right, can reach out to the leads, and a follow-up email can also be done. And when that human intervention is now required, the automated agent or the autonomous agent can send as a trigger to the human and say, okay, this now you need to step in. And we are seeing this already across multiple industries, and marketing is one area that it has been heavily implemented. Finance also is another place where we are seeing up to 80% of transaction accounting being automated, and robotic process of automation is being implemented heavily. We're seeing people in staffs and employees of large organizations globally. And if you are following the trend, these news are everywhere, they're commonplace. And so this is just to reinforce, to remind you of what exactly is happening globally and why you as a person need to also be very much aware of it and then position yourself irrespective of your skills that you currently have, and human resource also. So these are just some major business areas. There are other areas that are already being automated. For instance, talk about software engineering. Developers right now are making use of autonomous agents because, of course, they have already the skills, the coding skills that are required to create complex autonomous agents. They can set it up, and using different platforms, say chaining different tools together from Anything to LangChain or to Pinecone, they can set up those agents to code very complex systems and very complex applications. And they do not necessarily now need to write the entire line of code. All they just need to do is code integrity, ensuring that the code is what they want it to be, removing troubleshooting effectively well. In fact, also using agents to troubleshoot, but providing that oversight, that human in the loop oversight that ensures that whatever is being troubleshooted is according to what you want as the owner of that tool. And so these are other areas beyond what I've listed here where we are seeing automation and autonomous agents being deployed. So next slide very quickly. Now, you will have noticed, next slide, Toby. Now you'll have noticed that I'm making use of the words automation and autonomous agents, automation and autonomous agent. But it's important that I provide you again, like that clarity, just so that you are aware that because you might be overwhelmed if you say you want to set up your first autonomous agent, there are dedicated tools that are used to set up those agents, right? But starting point for you is automation, no code automation, essentially. And so that's what we can see there at the bottom of the screen where I put repetition. That is essentially the focus of automation. So it is essentially you setting a fixed rule-based process that executes tasks automatically once triggered. And you can think of automation like a train on a track that is efficient, but it is set to run on a set track. That is what it does. So there is a trigger. Once this happens, do this. Once this happens, do this. So a trigger, and the trigger connects to, say, an email that needs to be sent. But before the email is sent, you can pull resources from a tool like ChatGPT, right, to generate, say, content. And the content that is generated from that ChatGPT, right, can then be sent in an email. And so that is something you can set as a workflow in any of the automation tools. It is just very, very fixed. Of course, the fixing that we're mentioning here is not that it is unchangeable when it has been set. No. It means that once it has been set and published, it performs or works out the way you intend if you do it well. And then if you need to now say work on it in such a way that you have changes to make, you can go back to make changes, and then that changes that you've made, it's effected. But that is automation for you. Now, when you now go to building autonomous agents, then there is a level of complexity, not extremely complex, but you will be required to understand how to make use of certain tools. Different, some of them are different, or in collaboration with some automation tools. So building autonomous agents, or what autonomous agents are essentially self-directed AI systems that has the ability to think, plan, and decide how to complete goals with minimal human effort. So while your automation that you have set up is like a train moving on a set track, an autonomous agent is, say, a driver with GPS, and he understands from the GPS the best route to take to arrive at the destination. And so that is essentially the difference between automation and autonomous agent. So while automation is focused on repetition of tasks, autonomous agents are essentially able to reason through the entire task that it needs to perform and identify what exactly is the optimal approach to performing that task. And so these are practical use cases that we've mentioned what some of the impacts of automation for businesses, right? Toby, your screen has gone off. So we've mentioned some of the impacts of automation in businesses, but autonomous agent now going a little bit further beyond just setting up those no-code triggers. What will autonomous agent do? Say in a marketing campaign, an autonomous agent is able to analyze that campaign and its performance and then adjust the content that it is putting out. So you could set up agents, marketing agents that helps you carry out marketing campaigns. But if you set it up, say, with automation, it will just keep churning out what you have already set. However, if you make use of, infuse some other tools, what it does is it also is able to look at the performance, the metrics and the performance, the data, and say, okay, how is this particular content that we put out on this platform? How did it perform? And then based on those feedback, it can then adjust or customize the content accordingly. For customer support, an automation agent is able to, for instance, assign tickets to the department. But if you go a little bit further to now set up agents, it can detect moods and craft personalized responses. That is what agents are able to do. Again, let me establish that there are tools that allows you to do this. The goal for you is to understand what exactly are the fundamentals from automation and then gradually upgrade to now building highly complex agents that is able to say for a sales agent or a customer service agent or a marketing agent, name it, or even a software development agent. That is very possible. You need to, first of all, understand the fundamentals, and that's why we are taking you through that first level of automation. Say, this is the fundamentals, and these are the building blocks upon which you can then start to build complex agents. Project management is on that area where automation and then complex agents can be deployed, and even in education. So what you have on the screen here are just practical automation examples, and also examples that agents can do. Now, you might ask, so is it that what exactly do we now call the automations that we do, the fixed systems? It is allowed, especially within space, to call some of the fixed systems that you have built agents. So there's no, you're not going to be penalized for that, right? You can call it agents. But in level of complexity, right, that is what now determines or differentiates these simple agents that you have built in automation to much more complex autonomous agents that has the ability to reason, think, plan, and decide. So that's just different. So you can still call what you've set up in automation agents. So I just need to establish that. So as you leave this class, you understand that there's just minor differences, that while automation might just require you to just drag and drop, no code alone, as an agent might require you to use much more complex tools, right? Beyond just the drag and drop features in other tools like N8N, Make.com, Zapier, or even Power Automate from Microsoft, right? So there are tools for you to build complicated or complex agents. Let me know it's complicated. Complex agents that can pass through multiple steps because they they are able to think through, plan for you, and then decide the most optimal route to take to solve that problem. Next slide very quickly. Next slide very quickly, Toby. So I've talked about this, just what are some of the tools that are available to you, right? So again, I must establish that building agents is the goal for every one of us. I mean, who doesn't like to automate his tasks, and not just automate his tasks, but an agent that is able to think like you and do what you will have done in that entire process and get it done for you while, I mean, you have minimal input to it. However, it is important that you understand the building blocks. We've seen a lot of persons, right, just jump into making use of tools like LangChain or Pinecone or AutoGPT, which are platforms that allows you to build autonomous agents. But there are tools like Zapier, Make.com, Anything, that if you understand them very well, you will be able to, first of all, think through the problem and say, okay, this particular solution that I need to build for this problem, will I need to make use of a tool like LangChain and go through a very long process? Or a tool like Zapier can help me just get it done within, say, hours, 2 hours or less than. That's it. And this kind of thinking is important, especially when you now start working, say, as a freelance consultant or as a digital transformation partner for small businesses, right, where you are tasked with solving a problem for them. And they are like, you know what, we want to build a sales agent. We've seen a lot of companies already doing it, and we also want to get into it. And then you sit with them and then understand their sales process. And then you realize that, okay, I wouldn't need to I wouldn't need to use LangChain for this. I could just set up an N8N workflow or Zapier and get it done in minutes, such that instead of taking long time, because each of those tools have their level of complexity in learning them. I must establish that. So here I have tools for automation: Zapier, Make.com, N8N, Microsoft Power Automate. I have not listed the tools that are being used for some of the major tools that are used for building autonomous agents. Tools like LangChain, your Pinecone, or your AutoGPT. These are tools that allows you to build these autonomous agents, but because they have like a steeper learning curve. So I've not listed them here, but your job as a person, as someone who is looking to get into this field, is to understand the foundation, and these are the foundations. And then from understanding the foundation, you are then able to move from there to understanding how to think through a problem in such a way that you understand which tool is best suited for a particular problem. For instance, I mean, it's a nail can be a problem to fix the nail into a wall, right? So some people can make use of, say, let me use a heavy-duty sledgehammer, industrial sledgehammer. But you know that based on the size of the nail and the hardness of the wall, a normal hammer can just get it done for you. So why do you want to make use of an industrial sledgehammer to still get that thing done? So it is that ability to think through the problem and then identify which tools is most suited. That is what I want to leave with you on this call, right? That you are able to, now you understand what automation is, building of self-speak systems, and then you now understand what exactly are autonomous agents. Agents are able to plan, decide, and think through a process and come up with a optimized action to take. And then you are now able to say, okay, for these tasks, which tool is most suited? That is it. And from there, you are able to even yourself save time. Instead of you're trying to save time with an automation, but in the process of setting up that automation, you are spending valuable time using a tool that can do it, but it's not ideal or not optimal. When you could have just used a simpler tool, right? Just drag and drop. And so that's very important as you begin to explore, right, the world of automation and building autonomous agents. So very quickly, I would, in the next, say, 10 to 15 minutes, I hope I can finish it, show you, so I'm done with my slide, Toby, thank you. So I will show you like a simple interface. My network, again, like I pray, it opens the N10 and Zapier. So I'll just start with Zapier and show you the interface, and we could just set up a very quick trigger or workflow in Zapier, and you can see this in action. Okay, so let me share my screen. So Toby, you can stop sharing. Let me confirm if everyone can hear me. And Toby, also, let me confirm if there are any questions. I've not been able to, I've not joined. Hear me, one, and two, let me know if there are any questions thus far. So I can take them.
I can hear you. I can actually
Okay.
hear you. So hi guys, if you can still hear, you can just drop a yes in the chat room. And there are just few questions, not so much. Maybe probably because you had not asked them to ask questions. So somebody asked and said that are these automations being implemented in the ed sector? So that's going to be like the only question that we have currently. Did you get that, Uche?
Muted. Sorry, I was muted. So I heard you. You said, are these automation tools, have they been implemented in the health sector? Is that the question?
Yes, or can they be?
Okay, I think exactly. I think that's the best way to place the question. Definitely, yes, they can be implemented. As a matter of fact, there are organizations, say in the US, in Canada, and even across Europe, that are already automating certain bits of their workflow, because implementing it starts from first understanding the entire workflow of an organization. So great question you've asked here. So for the health sector, can you drill down and say, okay, for this particular hospital, let's say this particular or this particular health institution, do you understand their workflow? Say from patients, medical records, to diagnosis, to doctors follow-up, to drugs prescription. I mean, I'm just mentioning some things, right? But you can get the picture. It is important that you first of all understand their workflow. And it is after you've now understood their workflow, you can then say, wait a minute, this particular aspect of the workflow that is being done by somebody right now manually, we can automate it. I mean, we can set up a simple automated workflow that allows AI to get it done for you. And all that person will now do is to just maybe monitor, evaluate that it's doing as it, I mean, it's performing as it should. So yes, these automations can be implemented in the health sector, but your primary task or your first task is to understand very well what exactly are the work processes that exist in those companies. Once you understand that, it is then you are able to highlight until you've understood it, you've documented it, and then you say, okay, let's automate this first. This is very possible. Based on my knowledge of automation, I think we can automate this. It could be, say, from patients, doctor booking, for instance, right, and then follow up, such that the doctors or the clinicians do not necessarily need to do that manually again. That once a patient, say, reach out, they can set up a workflow that follow-ups with the patients, confirms as in if the patient would like to see a doctor, goes ahead to set up a meeting with the patient, book an appointment on because it has been connected to the doctor's calendar. So it understands, I mean, this is just an automation, simple automation. It has been connected to the doctor's calendar. And then once it has confirmed from the patients that, okay, I would like to set up a meeting on this day, I would like to meet with the doctor this day, it looks through the doctor's calendar and then it goes ahead to set up that meeting. Then it sends an email to the doctor that this meeting has been set up already. Do you understand? So this is essentially what you are doing, but it starts rather commences by you first of all understanding what are the existing workflows, understanding it very well, and then highlight and take into okay, we can automate this, and we can gradually introduce AI into this particular workflow. So that's that. I hope I answered your question. I did not get the name of the person. So Toby, next time, please give me the name of the person who asked the question, so I could always respond to the person personally. Yeah, but I hope I've answered the question.
Yeah, that's clear.
Okay. All right.
Do you want to take more questions for you, or you want to go to it?
Do we have any more questions? Let me just take one more.
Okay, so this from Austin, right? So he's saying, to what extent should autonomous agents be allowed to make decisions without human oversight?
Great question. Thank you very much, Austin, for that. So organizations who have implemented some of the putting complex autonomous agents, that there's always that need to have a human in the loop, at least for now. And so when you are asking to what extent, I would categorically tell you that every single organization that has successfully implemented this is conscious of having that human in the loop, providing oversight to those autonomous agents. Classic example, there are organizations now that encourage their software engineers to build, to make use of AI agents and AI platforms like Cursor and Claude from Anthropic, and then integrating LangChain to build agents that helps them code. So we've seen that. However, they are still required, the software engineer, the human software engineer is also still required after the agent has, say, written the entire line of code, to still go through what was written to ensure, because AI is still prone to making mistakes. Will it get better to the point whereby mistakes will be totally eliminated from its workflow? Very possible. But as we stand, mistakes are still a major part of these AI agents. So just so you know this, right, mistakes are still very much there. And so humans are expected to still provide that oversight. But how many persons will now be needed to provide the oversight? That's where, as in the conversation is now changing, whereby instead of needing the entire 10 persons who are working, or the 10 software engineers who are working on that product, maybe we now just need only 2 persons. Do you get? And those 2 persons are providing the human in the loop oversight. I hope I answered the question. So AI agents are allowed to make decisions, but you have to also put in that human in the loop. In fact, you can automatically set it that the decision that an AI agent has made, for instance, it has made a decision to create a particular, say, let's say for marketing campaign, to create a proposal and send to a client. You can set that condition that show me the proposal. So it sends the proposal to you, either in your email first, or maybe in your Slack channel, or even on WhatsApp. And then you read through what that has created before it goes ahead. So you now either decline or approve it. That can be set up in anything. And even other platforms can allow you to do that. And so you have that responsibility to look through it first, and then either approve or decline, as in before it is being sent out. So it has created the content, it's about to send it out, but you put in that human in the loop condition that it sends it to you first for you to look through it before it goes ahead to send it to the client. Because right now we are aware that AI is still very much prone to errors. So you do not want it to, as in totally, right, without any guidance, totally do the task for you without any human in the loop oversight. Yeah. Austin, I hope I've answered your question. Toby, can you hear me?
Okay, I was trying to see if he was going to respond, but I think you can proceed.
All right. So let me share my screen now. Just a minute. So show you a simple automation platform, and within the limits of our time, I think I have just 10 minutes, thereabouts of 10 minutes. We can set up something. So let me. Better still, let me just share the entire screen. Okay. I hope. So I will. Let's go back home. This is a simple automation tool that you can make use of. Zapier is very good. Of course, you saw some of the features that I mentioned in the table that I shared. This slide will be shared with us, so you can also go through it. But you saw some of those features, right, where for Zapier, it's free for, say, just 14 days. But you can then go ahead to, after that 14 days, pay for it. Another tool, if in case you don't want to pay yet, is N8N. I mean, you might not have the extra funds to pay. N8N is another very good tool. Now, N8N Cloud, that is similar to this web app from Zapier, is also free for a given period, and then you have to now pay. But N8N Desktop, which you can set up in your Docker environment, right, and then have it on your system, as in, is what most persons, in fact, is what I use sometimes to make use of, to set up some workflows if I don't want to make use of Zapier, right? Because that is free to use, but I might not be able to walk us through, right? If there is another class, I will then focus that class on walking you through how to set up N8N on your desktop and free of charge, right? Such that you don't have to pay any longer. You have it on your desktop and you can always run it whenever you need to set up, say, an agent or an entire workflow. So we will just, let's see if we can just quickly set up a very simple workflow here. So for Zapier, it is called Zaps, right? Zaps is what is used for describing workflows that integrates a trigger, a tool, say your memory, an API, whatever, right? And connects to that, and then is able to perform an action. So if I click on Zaps, so you can see triggers are essentially what exactly is the first action that will be done before this entire workflow that you have set up is initiated. That's what trigger does, right? So once that action is done, the workflow is initiated. Immediately you perform, or you send, you publish this particular workflow. So what I'm going to set up is a simple one, for instance. Let's set up a workflow that allows you to immediately send email notifications and confirmation to persons who, say, apply for a class, like a class like this. It can also be used for marketing, right? Say you set up a marketing campaign, right? And you need, once a lead or once somebody makes a comment, right? you can set up a Zap that it sends him a tool or a link or a PDF. That can also be done, or just by connecting different tools. So that's essentially what Trigger is all about. So we'll just set up a simple one that I think can help us get a picture of how this works. Right, so let me click on this for a tool like setting up emails to persons who gets into or who registers for your class. Because the particular platform or the particular application that you are using, because you can see here, there are multiple applications. So if it's Facebook, say you have set up a campaign, and then you want a particular PDF to be sent once, say, a comment is made or once a form is filled, you can go ahead to click on as in Facebook leads, right? So all of these are multiple integrations that you can make use of depending on what exactly is the automation that you want to set. In this case, we want to set a automatic email confirmation to registered participants of a class or of an event, right? Such that it sends them the link, it sends them a confirmation, and you can also even set it up that it sends them reminders. We've set up a Google form here. So if I show this, so before this class, I've set up a Google form. This is a simple Google form just to show us this in action. So an AI automation class, right? This is Google form. So I would, let me make use of this now. Publish it, save, and preview. So what I would do, Toby, is to send it to you. Then I would let you know when you should fill the form. Let me see if I can drop it in the chat. All right, Toby, just please confirm you can see the link that I dropped in the chat. This is a form. So what we want to do is that anytime somebody fills this form, right, we should send him an email so you could already have the link in the email. Now think of a form whereby you need, you have 1,000 persons. 1,000 persons. Just a minute, please. Okay, so think of a event or say class where you have 1,000 persons. It's indicating or signifying interest. So 500 persons, right? This is a simple thing. Instead of like making a human actually sending them or just sending generic using BCC or like the way we currently use to send all of them emails, so it's not personalized and all of that, right? And everyone knows that it's not personalized, so you're going to use the generic LODM because you cannot personalize it on Google, Gmail. And if you want to make use of yet another mail merge, that is a long process, YAM in Google, a long process that allows you to still do this. But with Zapier, you can easily set up a trigger and go to sleep, literally, right? So that every time someone fills your application, immediately he gets the link, an email that captures all of the details for the class and even the link to attend the class. And you can also go ahead to set triggers for reminders and send this person this reminder 2 days to the class, 1 day to the class, an hour to the class, and all of that. That can be set up as in a platform like Zapier once, and it does that for you all through that entire process. So we will set up a trigger here. Now, because this form, once it is filled, I want to collect my responses in a Google Sheet. So what I'm going to be selecting here in the trigger is Google Sheets. The event is simple, like what exactly is the trigger that should, or the task, the event that should trigger this particular workflow. So once a new entry, essentially, once somebody fills the form and clicks submit, all of his details enters into the Google Sheets immediately. And so you can just click new or updated spreadsheet. So what that simply means is that once that person completes and submits that form, immediately he gets an email. That's the trigger here. Now, you then come here to click, to select the account that you want the email to be sent from. Now, in setting up this, please take note that the email that you use to set up or to create that form is what you want to select here. So if I want to change it, I'm going to see, the other email, here, but what I'm selecting is the email that I used to set up this form. In this case, this is the email that I used to set up this RSVP form that I want the platform or the workflow to automate. So it's selected there, and then I will click continue. And then we come to spreadsheets. So what you are selecting here, because once you have set it up, the next thing is to configure it. And so what's under this configuration tab, what you are selecting is the exact spreadsheet that you want the trigger to pull, to pull information from and also send information to. So pulling information from essentially is, okay, looking through the entire that row and saying, okay, this person, pull the name from here, the first name, and then send him this auto-generated or this automated email. And so in this case, the spreadsheet is RSVP. You can see RSVP. So if I click here and I say view this, so you can see this is the spreadsheet. And I can come here and select it. So for worksheets, this one, you don't necessarily need to, because once you have selected the spreadsheets here, all you just need to do is select this and then go on. So you can then test your trigger. Now, I think I've set it up already, but I'm just walking you through how I did it, just so you can see it in action. A simple one, and then why not? There are multiple courses, and perhaps we might have a follow-up class where we can do a much more complex automated setup or workflow automation. So let's test this and let's see if it works as we should. So continue with selected records. So we're going to come here because we've selected, we have completed the setup of the trigger. So the next thing, now this step has already been added for you because it's a simple, very simple one. If you don't need this step, you can just come here and say, delete it if you don't need it. Right. So it's an action that has been set up for you. So what is the action? It is written here. What is the action that you want the platform or the AI agent to perform? Again, remember I told you earlier in the class that you can refer to this as an agent. It's not a complex one, right? It's not a complex autonomous agent. It's just a simple fixed task, right, that you needed to do. So what is the task or what is the action you wanted to carry out? In this case, one is to send an email to everyone who fills the form. Immediately, the person clicks submit. And so once you click on this action here, your next thing is what, if you want to send an email, from where do you expect it to send that email? If it's, say, your Microsoft Outlook, you select it. If it's the Gmail, you select it because in this case, it's an email. And if it's Hotmail, whatever. But because it's an email you want to send, is any of these that you want to select. In other cases, it might be like, say, you want it to like send a message to Slack, right? That's on that thing entirely. But in this case, what we want is an email that we want it to send to a user or a person who just filled a form. And so we're going to select Gmail. And once we select Gmail, it then opens up the tab for us to configure again the entire scope of the action that we want it to perform. because we don't just want it to perform, just send any email as there is a way we want the email to be customized. So what's the action that we want it to do? So here we say send email. That's the action. Where is it sending from? From uchevedwin@gmail.com. And so you can continue. Again, what you have here in this account is you imputing the exact email that you want the platform to use in sending emails to everyone who filled your form. And so that's what you're going to impute here. Once you click on continue, it asks you as in where exactly you send the email to. And so you fill in what you're selecting from this. There are multiple things to select here, but what do we want to send the email to essentially? It's to an email address. And that's why, in as much as we have multiple entries here, what you are selecting is email address. Because again, it is the scope of the task you want to perform that determines what you're selecting. An email sent to the email the email address of a participant who just submitted his registration to participate in my event. So you click on this. And then the next thing, this send messages to Google Contact, true or false. Essentially, it works, this particular item works like an the absolute values that we have in our Excel, whereby is it an absolute, do we want it to just send the exact email that we set up here? Or should you also say, as a configure the email by itself, right? And then they decide on which one it wants to send. In this case, we want the exact email that we set up here because we're going to set it up here. And so we're going to just select false. So we're going to leave it there as false. Now, are there people that you want to carbon copy or close copy right, in the email? If there are, you just impute their email here. If there are, in this case, there's none that we want to close copy. Or let me see, should I impute? Okay, I think you've already used your email. Let me use I think my other email just to show you. So this is my other email, and so once it sends email to everyone, it put this in the the copy of the email. So where should it send the email from? This, we have spoken about this very well. What's the name? So you want to also kind of like tell it's the name that should appear, or the name the user should see when he gets the mail from you. I think the person wants to reply, as in you can let him know where he should send the reply to. So let's see, let's set Bedouin. Okay, I'll find it. Let me see now. Okay, I think I did not set a reply as in the previous trigger, yeah, from the Google Sheets, and that's why the email that I need the person to reply to by default is this email. Yeah. If I needed the person to reply to another email, right? I could have included that as from the first step. Let's move on very quickly. So by default, it replies to this email. It's just simply like, okay, I send an email to you, you want to reply, you're replying to the email that I sent to you. If there are other emails that I need you to reply to, say like support that will take it up, I then add it to the your step. So what's the subject of the email? So this is simply the same like your subject of email. Okay, you are confirmed. Let's say you're confirmed, or thank you. You are confirmed for our event, or for the AI Automation Masterclass. Right, so okay. Then what's the body that you need it to have? Essentially, what's the content of your mail? So you can then, for the content of the mail, because now this is where the personalization comes in, right? And the platform allows you to just quickly, from using this field icon, right? Come here and then select the first name of the person, so that you can say hi, first name, and then put a comma. So it's picks the first name of the person and then just personalize the email for you. So all of the generic email that you send by BCCing 1,000 people or 100 persons, and then you are sending hello dear, and everyone knows that okay, this is just a BCC. Every other person got the same email. You can just personalize it from here, and I mean it's easy to set up. You can say, let me cancel this here. So hi, first name. Thank you for registering. For registering. For AI Automation Masterclass. I can't wait to see you there. I can't wait to see you in the class and get you started on automating workflows for businesses. You can then say something like, see below. So you impute, you add your links, you can add a link or the details of, okay, the time, the link to the, say, Zoom, Meet, or any other platform. You can add a link here, see the details of the event below, of the class below. Yeah, and then next you just come here and say, looking forward to seeing you. I'm looking forward to seeing you. Cheers. Uh, Uche. Okay, so that's like a simple body of your email. You can, of course, add a lot more information, but this essentially is what will be sent to the new registered participants of your class. So if you want to add signature, these are things that okay, you might decide to add. If not, as you don't have to bother because I've already put shares, which are here, so they know it's from you. You can from here also add okay, which for my company Data Science Nigeria and all of that. And if there is anything you want to attach, you attach it. Say maybe you want to attach a file to read that they need to read, a PDF that they need to read before the class or anything. You can attach it here. So we don't have anything we want to attach. You just want to send an email to our participant, and then we can click continue. So here, so we will test our, because what happens here is it will test the workflow that you just created to ensure that it works as you expect. Now, always know that sometimes mistakes are part of our learning process. So you might test it, and then as in it will return an error, right? And then you look through the error and troubleshoot, and then you get it. That's the way we learn. So you might get it in first time, but if you don't get it first time, do not despair, right? So you get it done. Look at the errors, and then you correct it. So let's test our step. Let's see if it works as it should. So our steps works as you because we've gotten a message here. Say a message was sent to Gmail about in 1 second. Amazing English there. So Toby, please confirm you've got seen an email because I see that you have filled the form. Yeah. Hi, Toby.
Oh yeah, I just got the mail now. Just got the mail.
Right. So I think I won't publish because I don't need it. But what I just want to do, Toby, just share your screen. Let's see the message itself that was sent to you. Let's see if it's configured the way we want it configured. So I'll stop sharing and I'll just ask that you share your just the message, the email message. Because of course that's how you test. I can also share it, but I just want to be sure that to an external user so you know it works as it should. Yeah.
All right, no problem. I'll do that just now. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, it's coming up.
All right, so this is what came in.
Yeah. So thank you. You've confirmed for hi Uche. Thank you for this. Please note the reason why it's having Uche here. Toby, I don't know why you put my name. It's because he used my name for the first name. So hi Uche, thank you for registering for AI automation class. I can't wait to see you in the class and get you started on automating workflows for businesses. See you and all of that. So this is just a simple workflow. Again, like I said, there are complex things that can be done. Of course, time will not permit us because this is a 1 hour class and we're already 20 minutes beyond our time. But to show you what is possible, again, the tools are available to you as I round up. The tools are available to you. Start by learning the fundamentals. The fundamentals and the building blocks are tools like Zapier, Make.com, N8N. Multiple resources are available on YouTube, and why not? As in if you can connect with me on LinkedIn, right? Which you're doing, and you want to do something, you want to go further on this, either pick up any of those two, say N8N, and you need to set it up. You want to know how to set it up on your desktop. You can connect with me, and then I'll walk you through it. I wish I could just record a video, but my time might not permit me. Because I'm like doing a lot right now. But I could just quickly show you how to do that. I don't know if I'll just share my screen to show you my own N8N that I've installed on my local host that I make use of. If I can do that, let me see. Before we round up. So again, while I'm sharing my screen, just to emphasize, the fundamental is to understand the building blocks. Once you understand the building blocks and the foundation, you then get your hands dirty with automating the most simplest of tasks. That's your goal first. What is the most simplest of things that you would have done manually, but you know it is repetitive and you know it is too manual for you to keep doing it the way you are doing it. There are tools available for you right now as in to get it done. And you can set it up as a very fast. So once you get that your first win, do your first automation, the next thing you then begin to explore and see, okay, what are the other things? Should I automate or should I set up a marketing lead or a sales conversion lead, right? A follow-up lead follow-up agent? Should I set that up? Think through, once you understand the basics, you then think through, look through your own workflow, your own day-to-day process, because that's where it starts. Automate your own flow for your own work first, right? Especially at this very early stage, since you're just starting, automate something very small. And then you get that moving over the line, and then you begin to check up more things and say, okay, what are the other things I want to do? And you might begin to now see, okay, now that I've learned anything, I know how to make use of yeah. All right, let me see.
Okay, good evening, everyone. If you can hear me, thank you for joining this session. I believe it was an exciting session. Okay, and I read in the comment section, some of you requested that the session be recorded. Well, this is streamed live on YouTube, so you can always come back and watch it anytime. So thank you for joining this call. I believe due to some technical issues, you couldn't hear our speaker anymore, but thank you for joining this session. And we hope to see you in our next session on Tuesday, which is next week, where we begin our live classes on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturday. So details will be shared on the TMTT portal, on Telegram, and in the LMS. So, and as the said, the slides will be shared, and at any time you can come back and rewatch and try to practice. So thank you everyone for joining. and do enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you.
Hello, Toby. Hi, Toby.
Uche, I can hear you. Good evening. So, Uche, we can hear you.
My bad, my network. Sorry. My
Yes,
network messed up again. Sorry.
it's fine. Can you continue?
Yeah. So I was rounding up, but let me just quickly round up and then take questions because I know there might be questions for the from this class. So I was mentioning that the fundamental first. Once you learn the basics and then you now get your hands dirty with using some of these simple tools, it gives you that confidence to then move on to now pick up bigger tasks, right? And then see what the existing tool that you learn. So having a nice toolbox or knowing how to use Zapier, N8N, Make.com, LangChain, AutoGPT, Pinecone, right? It's great, but at this early stage,
Hello, Uche. I don't know if you can hear me, but we can't hear you again. Oh, hello, Uche. If you're speaking, please, we can't hear you. Okay, no, Emmanuel, the has not ended yet. So please just give our tutor some time to just adjust his position so he can continue the class. So you can drop your questions before he comes back online. So once he's done, he can ask them.
can you hear me?
Okay, yes, Uche,
Can
we
you hear
can
me
hear you
now?
now. Yes, can hear you now.
Okay.
Okay, so if you can hear me, please drop your questions. So once he's back online, he can answer them. No, Jonah, don't go
Hi,
anywhere.
Sarah.
Yes,
Hi,
I
Sarah.
can
Can
hear
you
you
hear me?
now. Yes, I can hear
Okay.
you now.
Ah,
Sorry about that. The
I do not
network.
think.
I
Yeah,
can hear
and
you.
I've changed. Yeah, thank you. My apologies, everyone, as in those watching from YouTube. My sincere apologies for this. I do not understand why all my networks are messing up at the same time. So let me just take questions and then I will use that to round up instead of just keeping everyone on the call. I completed my slides and the demo, and very much open to say first of all taking our questions here. And if you do not have any question on this call, but you want, you might start your own automation journey and then you need guidance, why not? You can always reach out to me on LinkedIn, Uche Edwin, and I'll be glad to do that. But let's take questions here as my internet may permit. Yeah.
Okay, so Benga Bello is asking that what free tool can we use to automate for WhatsApp workflow?
What free tool can we use to automate for WhatsApp workflow?
Yes.
Okay. Zapier can do it, but I think the keyword that if I understand Benga is free. That I think that's the keyword there. Uh, while you can use Zapier for 14 days free, right? Once you sign up, you I think it's is it 14 or a couple of days you are expected to pay. So it's not free entirely. Same as NA10 2 is not, the cloud version is not free entirely. So these are tools that you can use very well. However, if you want a completely free, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So if you want a completely free tool, I would advise, of course, you need to just go to the learning curve to learn how to make use of it. One, you could use your NA10 desktop, right? Let just install it, learn the process of installing it. It's not too hard, right? But you just have to install it on your local system, and then it can allow you to like do a WhatsApp integration. Another tool is LangChain. LangChain is a tool that you can also use to do a WhatsApp, to automate a WhatsApp workflow. So all of these tools I've mentioned are very, very useful and they can be used. It's just, I think the keyword for you is free. And I know that NA10 desktop is totally free. LangChain, there is a free version that allows you to do some powerful work and it stays free. And although there's also a premium version, but the free version can still allow you to do some really good work because, in our organization, our team has made use of it. They've made use of it to do some WhatsApp integration. Yeah, I hope I answered your question. I didn't get the name, Sarah.
Name is Benga Bello.
Benga, yeah, I hope I answered your question, Benga. So those are some of the tools that you can make use of. Yeah. There are other ones, but these are the ones that I know I can vouch for, right? And based on their freemium plan or free plan, I can say they are very useful to help you do that WhatsApp automation. Yeah.
Okay, someone said, can you please spell the last two you mentioned?
The last tool that I just mentioned
Yes,
now.
yes,
Okay,
the one about the desktop.
yeah, LangChain. So LANG, then chain. CHAIN. Yeah, LANGCHAIN, LangChain. Yeah, it's a very good tool as that you can pick up, learn how to make use of it, and then start doing both automations and even build much more complex agents. Yeah.
Okay, I think we just have one last question. Is Lovable among tools that can be used for automation?
Great question. Lovable on its own, right? The first thing you should know is Lovable on its own is a very powerful platform that acts like an AI agent already. In terms of the fact that it can, it's essentially used to build applications. More recently, I used it to build a data analytics platform. Just trying my hands on a couple of things using natural language. So just tell it, okay, help me build a data analytics platform for SMEs to be able to analyze their sales data without needing a data analyst to get it done for them. And just put that natural language in Lovable and then it builds the platform for you. And then you can always, okay, it gives you the front end and then does all of the integration for you. So Lovable is, in a way, it's an extremely powerful AI agent, yeah, on its own, used to build tools. So if you say, can it be used to do workflow automation? I wouldn't say yes. The current form or the current version of Lovable as it is essentially used to build applications by natural language, using natural language. And so you might not necessarily see all the triggers and drag and drop that you see in your LangChain, your NA10, your make.io, or whatever, right? You not necessarily, you just put your natural language there. English, what you want to say or what you want to build. and then it builds it for you. So it's not the most ideal, but if you want to make it of it to build platforms, say applications, websites, mobile apps, then it does extremely well for you to do those things. Lovable, Cursor, Base 44, they're all platforms that you make use of to do that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Che. That's the last question
Thank you
in the
very
chat.
much, Sarah. And
Round up.
once again, my apologies for the technical glitches that we experienced, but I hope that you maybe pick one or two things from this class. And again, why not? You can always reach out to me if you need for more information, as in, or you have further questions. Um, I'm very much open to sharing from my own experience making use of those tools, right, and guiding you to more resources that can help improve your knowledge of it. I look forward to seeing you automating a lot of stuff in the coming weeks and months. Thank you very much. And Sarah, you can take it from here.
Okay, thank you very much, Uche. Please let's appreciate Uche with emojis in the chat section. And like you mentioned, please let's go practice and don't forget to tag PMTT, Deep Tech Ready, and also your tutor Uche so you can see what you're doing. So like I mentioned, I've come to the end of today's masterclass. A very big thank you to Uche and for everyone who have attended this class. Believe you have learned one or two things, so please don't forget to practice. And then we're also going to meet next week, Tuesday, as we continue with our live classes. So please watch out for the time to be shared on Telegram, on your TMTC dashboard and your LMS. So thank you, everyone, and do enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye.